Per Ian Rappaport, not only will Jaquan Brisker be missing out on training camp this season, but Roquan Smith will also be missing out on training camp this season due to his contract situation and not getting an offer that he views as one he wants to sign yet. Let's talk about all that and more starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, like I said, as reported by Ian Rappaport, based on the contract offers that have been put out there to Roquan, and there not being one that he feels that he would even remotely consider, he will not be participating in training camp this year. And so here we go again, right? We've been here with Roquan, but a completely different situation. We're talking about an all-pro level player. We're talking about one of the best linebackers in the NFL. This is a no-brainer to me, right? I understand the Bears' money situation and there being some interesting things that are going to have to play out with it. And guess what? Going into next season, they absolutely might, or I absolutely expect them to get a deal done with Roquan Smith. But at this point right now, right, there's not a deal on the table that Roquan feels is anywhere close to what he's looking for. And that kind of concerns me, right? Because I feel like at a minimum, if you're having these conversations, of course you want to get the deal done this year, if at all possible. The Bears do have that $17 million to work with, although a little bit less now because they went out and they signed Michael Schofield today, so that's big news. Also check out my reaction to that video by clicking the link in the description below. But here's the biggest part for me, right? Like, and it's probably not a surprise that we're hearing these things on the same day. Roquan's voicing his displeasure with the fact that the Chicago Bears have gone out and paid somebody else outside of the organization versus giving him his contract while he's already here. But you have to be having this conversation with him. I will say I've been very much in favor of a lot of the things that Ryan Poles, I got to be telling myself this in my brain because I keep saying Pace, Poles has done with the Chicago Bears team, including go out and get some offensive line help, right? And I'm 100% in favor of how he's built up this offensive line to protect Justin Fields. That's the most important thing you have to do, but you can't just completely forget about what's happening on that other side. And players like Roquan Smith don't grow on trees. To me, that's a deal you have to get done. That's at least an agreement that you have to already have something in place to where, hey, Roquan, guess what? We've got this in place. We know it's not getting done right now, but next season, you're our top priority. Going into next season, you're our top priority. We're going to have all this cap space. Like, I feel like if there's some kind of understanding, we're not here with Roquan Smith. Now, there's a caveat to all of that, right? Like maybe Roquan's taking this a completely different way, understanding what kind of player he is, understanding that he's going to be able to come in and get the job done no matter what. But you would love to see him here at training camp. And to me, this is one where the Bears organization has to step in and say, we've got to do something or put something in his ear to get him here, because he's switching complete systems and he's not somebody who's played the NFL under a 4-3 before, right? Like Robert Quinn not being here. Okay, Robert Quinn's not here. Sucks a little bit, right? But Robert Quinn's been in a 4-3. Oh, by the way, he's been very successful in a 4-3. Roquan Smith, this is going to be his first time in the NFL. I understand college and stuff is different, high school and stuff is different, but in the NFL, being in a 4-3, I would like him to be in there getting those reps. And so this is one where I got to look at Bears management and say, you've got to do a better job getting your guys on the field and keeping your guys on the field. I don't know what to do with this one. I'm not going to lie to you. And here's the thing, right? While it could just be the contract situation, and we could not have to worry about any of this, right? With the contract situation being what it is, it could be the reason Roquan's sitting out. And I'll explain why in a second. But before I do that, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like this is a problem that Roquan Smith is holding out, as well as Jaquan Brisker? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. So basically, here's what I mean by that, right? Like when you're looking at Roquan Smith, hey, listen, I get it, because if a contract is not in place, if there's not a situation in place where I look to you and I say, hey, let's get this done. And if we get this done, I'll be there. But if this isn't done, I'm not risking my body without that deal in place. I fully understand that from Roquan Smith. We're not talking about a simple contract here. We're talking about life-changing money for Roquan Smith if he gets this deal that he's probably going to end up getting. He's going to get top linebacker money in the NFL, right? He's going to get plus 20 million in the NFL. And I think that's the thing, right, that you got to take into account when you're talking about this. I know there's going to be people in the comments talking about you got to put the team above all else. You've got to put the team in front of yourself. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, right? That stuff works when you're actually on the field, but when you put the team in front of yourself and you get hurt, and we've seen this a ton in the NFL, what happens to those guys? The team allows them to finish out their deal, and then they go away. This is the NFL. This is the big boy leagues. This is for real. This is guys' livelihoods. I 110% understand why Roquan Smith is holding out in this situation, because you don't know if say he goes out there in training camp and blows out his ACL. Now you're not talking about 20 million a year next year. Now you're not having that conversation. Right? So I 100% get where Roquan's coming from on this. I understand the holdout in this situation. If you're going to hurt yourself, right? And I don't think Roquan will miss any time on the field. I think he'll be there for every game. I think he'll probably be there for the preseason, right? And he's just that level of player. But I also look at this and say, hey, if I'm looking at Roquan right now, I would rather have him healthy in the season. Yes, I'd rather have him there with the reps, but I think that's more of a case for Jaquan Brisker because he's never been in the NFL before. Meanwhile, Roquan Smith's an all-pro player, and I know he's going to fit in this system. I know he's going to be fine as a 4-3 linebacker. I know his game's going to translate, and I know he's going to be a beast on the field for us, right? But this is a situation where, to me, I understand Roquan's side of this because I'm not risking my body for nothing, for meaningless stuff. I'll bet you he'll risk it for a game. He might not play preseason even. He might not play preseason, but I'll bet you he's willing to risk it for a real game. But he's not going to risk it for training camp. He's not going to risk it for off-season workouts. He's not going to risk it. Yeah, I mean, so in those situations, right, I get where Roquan's coming from, especially now seeing that the Bears have gone other directions with their money, which I'm in favor of as well. But I feel like there's got to be some level of communication to say, hey, Roquan, listen, we're going to get you this bag. It's coming next year. We got to get this. That maybe there has been, and maybe Roquan's actually just protecting himself. But hey, those are the things that you kind of got to look at in this situation, looking at both sides of things, right? I think the organization has to do a little bit more with some of these guys, but I 100% get the side of the players. But as always, man, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you feel like this holdout is a problem for Roquan Smith? This is the second holdout this season. Is this going to be something that we have to pay attention to heading into this this regular season? Is this going to have lingering effects? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts to all those and more. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen and check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.